Traditional contracts represent an agreement between at least two parties. A third-party official or government will make sure that these agreements are carried out and upheld, and therefore the third-party entities are crucial, not only for ensuring that the conditions of a contract are valid, but also to evaluate any environmental circumstances and events that could affect the proper execution of the contract. Even though smart contracts use the word contract, they're not contracts according to the definition of an agreement between parties. A smart contract is a computer protocol, source code or a program, which can be executed within a distributed environment like a blockchain network. All operations, including the results of each execution, are stored on the blockchain. So now you all understand that a smart contract is not actually a contract between two parties, but a protocol of cooperation between two users. Now this could be between a user and a computer, or even two computers. And this protocol operates according to the rules predefined in the smart contract source code. A smart contract is computer code. It is a set of instructions including different checks and validations, read and write data operations, and digital asset operations like transfers, issues, burning tokens, freezing them, and so on. Remember that the main technology for Web3 is blockchain, or more broadly, distributed ledger technology, DLT. This allows smart contracts to be executed on hundreds of different machines simultaneously. Smart contracts offer several interesting features. The first and very common feature that we have the rule of code. In other words, code is law. There is nothing and nobody more important than the code. There is no middleman at all. This is next and very important feature. Everything takes place within a decentralized environment. We don't even need anybody to dispute resolution. We also get a secure storage for digital assets. Only we have control over our own funds. The vulnerabilities are limited to one individual. If there is a data breach, for example, it will not lead to thousands of victims, like if someone hacks a bank server. If someone is hacked, they alone will be at risk. The next feature, we get default backups. So we have many and many copies of the same data on different machines, usually all over the world. Very important feature, at least personally for me, we get significant reduction of human error. Provided that the smart contract code has been written properly, there are no biases and far fewer possibilities of doing something wrong. Another very interesting feature is a trustless execution. All nodes execute the code and reach a consensus on the result. In other words, smart contract execution is deterministic. And the last but not least, we also get autonomous execution. So some operations like transfer and ownership can happen automatically depending on certain conditions but without explicit instruction. Not bad, right? It's a pretty impressive list of features. It almost sounds too good to be true. So there are of course some disadvantages. So why don't you think about what they might be and discuss them together in the course chat? So while we are talking about smart contracts, we have to mention Ricardian contracts. Some of you might have heard of them. They're an innovation which were created in the 90s. A Ricardian contract is a human-readable legal agreement that, once agreed upon and signed by both parties, gets converted into a machine-readable contract to define the intentions of both parties. They're a bit like the grandfather of the smart contract. Digital signatures and operational automatization are used here as well. Ricardian contracts were invented almost 30 years ago, long before blockchains. But now, many blockchain platforms are trying to adopt them as one of their smart contract types. Interesting, right? Although we are talking about tech that is 4 years old, these Ricardian contracts are still one of the best templates for combining the different legal and technical aspects of smart contracts. So, we've now had a brief look at smart contracts in general sense. Now, I want to take you deeper into the world of smart contracts, into the real meat of the topic.